how that works. There we go. ColorWerks Extreme, or CWX, is a collection of brand new textures and a custom iris shader for standard transparency mapped hair, fiber mesh hair, and deforced strand-based hair in DAZ Studio. Oh, I see. Shader is sleek and simplified. Okay, see if we can work it out with all its sleekness. Miranda is indeed strand-based, right? I don't know if Ellie is strand-based. That's a really good question. Is it just for strand-based hair then? Custom iris shader system for standard transparency mapped hair. I don't know, is there a standard in that? I didn't know that. Fiber mesh hair, so this is stuff that might not even be UV mapped. And strand-based hair. Let's see if we can work it out. Also, where do we find it? Select hair. Materials, ColorWerks, hair blending bits and pieces. Okay. Materials, iray, that's what we want. Do we add grays? It doesn't do anything. Yeah, it's probably because it's not... Are they shaders? No, they're materials. Yeah, but how can materials be applied unless I know what the material zone is called? That's the shader. There we go. Haha, shader's perfect. Let's try the shaders then. And also let's just select all of these things in here. Everything, including the cap. Blend mask. Apply this first. Okay, gotcha. Will do. See what happens. Right. I think this is how my thing works as well. It's quite nice. It just, every once in a while I just need to say, what was this transaction for? What was that for? Interesting. There's a lot of stuff here. Click on that. Does the color change? I don't think so. Oranges blend. Oh, there we go. Something happens. Maybe I need to go and have a look at that in iray. Sadly, do we have to have these overlays here? Draw node avatars. What happens when we switch that off? I think it doesn't actually go away. I love it if I could keep it selected but not actually see the bits and pieces here. But I don't think we can do that. So we'll just try and ignore the yellow lines. Hey, this doesn't look bad, I have to say. For generic shader, this is actually very cool. So what are the oranges do we have? Orange blend, oranges blend 2. Let's try that, see what happens. Oh, I see, that is indeed orange. And then we have this, more orangeness. And I suppose we have all kinds of colors. Right, nice. Including, oh, that's blue. Apparently blue. CWX blend 1 and blend 2. And it's interesting. So blend 1, if I make that green, does that seem to happen somehow, somewhere? Yes, oh, I see. It happens here. There's also apparently a way to change where this blend map happens, where the gradient actually happens. pastels. This is interesting. It's an interesting approach. Just turn the hairs that you have into something completely different. Right, maybe this is what we do, where that blend is. Let me try something really obvious. If I have kind of purple on one side and then something like maybe like this on the other, just so that we see an obvious transition there from one color to another. That's not that obvious. Maybe this one here. Also not all that obvious. See what happens when I change some of these alphas around. Like maybe the wax one, what happens when I do that? I suppose I can see it up here. Right, I see. That's clever. Clever idea. Well, I had envisioned something like a reddish type background, so maybe I can match the hair color to that with the orange and red from the top. There's other bits and pieces at the bottom, neon things. Let's try that, maybe this and that. See what happens. And maybe that's a little bit too strong. I think I preferred the bits and pieces that I had at the top there. Orange and yellow might also work. Or not. I'll go back to the top. Like the ones that weren't quite so intense. What we got here? Color blend no and mask no. Ah, interesting. What else we got here? Oh, those are the materials. Gotcha. So maybe from here to there. So that might work for the hair. I like it. Bikini is good because it's about the body shape. I think I'll have a look at some wind things, and then I'll see if I can do something about a backlight and a bit of depth of field. And also what happens here. I suppose the fit isn't quite as good as it could be, so let's take care of that while we're working on it. Forehead depth, there we go. So it shouldn't intersect, or maybe it should intersect. It's a difficult question. Usually this would look better if there's no intersection, but does it? Let's see. It seems to work. Okay, hair fixed. Adjustment bits and pieces. Blow dials maybe. Are there presets that we can fiddle with? Like under shaping, I like it when there's a bit of blow in here. Super blowy, I like it. Perfect. So fix the poke through. if this was our camera, with or without the background. So this was just the... Oh, that's so nice for you to so nice of you to say. Forever Sean, thank you so much for dropping by. And also, Happy New Year. Good to see you. That is really nice to hear. Thank you. Thank you so much for saying that. Do you know, Brian, I didn't have a look at it yet, but it's definitely on my list. There's also the other one Rod made about the Liquify tool, so looking forward to binge watching all of those. Very neat. So I like this. I'm not sure about not drawing the dome, so this would be the big red background. Yeah, I think we're going to be okay without it. HDRI is okay, but I think I'm going to go with 2 mesh lights and 1 backlight. I'm thinking it's going to look nice. We might even just turn this down to like 0.3, just so that we have a bit of base HDRI, and then I'll do the rest with 2 mesh lights from the side, or maybe just from... Let's start with the... Tell you what, let's go and start with the... Let's leave it on 1, and then we'll start with the backlight. Let's do that. Let's do that. Whoops, yeah, perspective view. And we'll do this from here. So I just want the hair to separate here. So maybe just a straight from the other end type thing. Maybe with a small slight angle, something like that. Maybe. We'll see. Let's try. Create spotlight. Show options. Apply active viewport transforms. Like so. Spotlight wants to be constrained to Genesis female. Abdomen lower, abdomen upper, chest lower, chest upper. Probably. We can probably come closer. And we don't have to fiddle with the intensity quite so much. And let's use photometrics. Let's start with 100,000. 4,000 Kelvin. And area wise, I think we'll use a disk and we'll leave it on 10. And we'll see what that looks like when it's rendered. I suppose I could also go and try to move the auto follow light thing slightly over to the left, but I think I'm liking what I'm seeing here. Just the tendency. That's quite nice. I think I like it if it came from here, so there's more glow in the hair here. That's technically why I'm doing that. Let's make it top and bottom. And then this can be our rendered camera, and this can be our perspective view that isn't rendered. Let's do this and that. So if I go move the light over here now, like this, let's see what the effect is. Sometimes iRay is quite nice at giving you this preview here. I might try moving it up a bit, just so that I catch something on the top here. But then it's always, you know, sometimes then you lose other bits and pieces, so I think I liked it before. And I think maybe we'll try to increase the intensity a little. Make it twice as bright. So you have this glow here. I might make the area a little bit larger so that edge becomes a bit softer. which means I may have to go, yeah, there we go, that's softer now, but we still have it, so that's neat. Okay, so but there's quite a bit of shadowness going on, so I think instead of using two soft boxes, I might just turn the HDRI around. So currently we're getting that kind of from the side, which adds a bit of drama to it. But I think maybe just to brighten up the other side, maybe I'll actually leave the HDRI as it is and just add one mesh light from the left here. From my left, not her left. Her right, my left. Very nice to meet you. Hey, good to see you. Happy New Year. It's really nice of you to say that. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad you're enjoying it. There's so much more that I have in the pipeline. There's like 20 videos that I have lined up that are going to gradually trickle over into YouTube. I'm really glad you're enjoying it. That's awesome to hear. Yeah, let's do that. And one mesh light from here, and then we'll leave the intensity of the HDRI as it is. We might even make that a bit stronger. We'll see. I'll keep this on rendered on here in little, just so that we can see a bit of a preview. I could also put this into the Aux Viewport here on the right. That's also a possibility. I should really start doing that. Then I have more in my viewport here. I might actually, why don't we do that? Why don't we do that? Let's go put this back to here. Make this a single view, and then in here on the right I'm going to click the Aux Viewport. I'm going to try and put that at the kind of at the top here. I always forget how to do this to put something at the very top of this window here, because there is a dockable area. But you know, it doesn't always work. I think once you've taken it away, it's really difficult to bring that back. Always leave it floating, we can do that. Oh, there we go, done it now, perfect. Always a bit of a mystery. I'm hoping that that's something that will change in DAZ Studio 4. Or DAZ Studio 5 rather. Let's do this and go to the camera, and we make this the rendered version, just so that we can keep an eye on what this looks like. Okay, I must make sure we go back into the perspective view. So I'll go and bring in just a plane here. And it'll be a plane, not Y positive, because that points up. I want this to be X positive, I think. I think. 1 meter is good. Yes, there we go. That's perfect. Exactly what the doctors ordered. Move that kind of over here. We'll make that a bit taller so that we have something like a tall light box that stands up. Nice, and then we'll go and have this from kind of just from here. I think that'll work. Maybe even angle it a tad, just so that it's not in shot. That's important, and that's just gonna even out the shadows here and hopefully give her a little bit more light in the face. So under surfaces, plane, default, we go to emission, and we turn this to white, and that'll be, well, that'll, you know, at least emit some light, even though we don't quite see it yet. So over here, let's go switch this to watts, put this down to kind of 200 watts, and we're making this, there we go, now we can see it. It already has an effect. I'm going to make this about 4,000, and I don't want to blow her out too much, but just to satisfy my curiosity, with 500, I'm getting this extremely soft look now, so that's probably a bit too much. Yeah, maybe 250 is good. I just wanted this to be a little bit of a brightener upper without taking too much of the dramatics away. But that's at least that's, you know, that's the idea. See what it looks like in large. Yeah, I still might just turn the HDRI over a little bit. I'll switch this over again so that I give my computer a little bit of a better time, just so that I have, I mean, it's kind of, I'm okay with it. I just wanted to, I think I'd like to brighten it up a little bit more. But that, I might just do this with tone mapping. And also I think I'm okay with the expression. I just want to adjust the eyes a little bit. Without screwing things up completely. If I can, so it's kind of a special character. Let's see if it works on the wide shot. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I didn't quite see this before. That might just have been my mistake here. I don't think it was. It might just not show in the render, the hair intersecting with the shoulder. We'll see. Well, tone mapping then. No ETA on DAZ5. No, I know that they're working on it, but I don't know. I've seen a preview, so I know the graphic layout, and we've discussed that a little bit. But there's nothing. I haven't seen a running version or anything. I know that they're working on it, and it'll be released at one point. But I don't think there's a proper ETA on that yet at all. It's like, you know, it'll be released when they're good and ready, I guess. What happened with the eyes here? Should I be worried? Ever since I've adjusted the eyes, there's something rather drastic that's happened here. Should have made those adjustments, huh? If we're far enough away from the figure, it's actually okay. That's all we need to know. I think I'm not going to worry about it. I would like to. Maybe I do. I do worry actually about it already. I can tell. I'm uneasy about it. And that would be adjusting something about shoulder, perhaps. Okay, neck, could that be it? Neck, this. Yeah, that with iRay, not really doable. Nope, that's not it. Neck Z, is that it? It isn't actually. It's more like a... No, that's not it either. Collar, could that be it? And collar R, that's kind of your collar, not mine. Oh, could be breast, that could be. No, I have a feeling it's because of the blow dial. These don't really work all that well anymore. Yeah, that I could probably work with this. If I go and turn this into like a -1000 and just see if I can move that away. It kind of works. Could this be a job for ZBrush, or is this maybe too much? I'll just add an additional 0 in here. see if that can help me. I just need to get it out there somehow. Small fix in the post, I say. And it's one of those things, I'm not showing this as a render. This is going to work just inside DAZ Studio. So, whoa, yeah, that's terrible. That is not a good idea. Okay, fine. I'm going to completely undo that. What was I thinking, hey? Okay, ZBrush it is. Let's see. First of all, save the scene. This is in here. Is it installed here? No, it's not installed. Ah, because it's the beta version. I can. So the GoZ plugin can only be installed in one version of DAZ Studio, not in both. So it's one of those things. I think this one has it. So I'll try my best. Totally a bad hair day, absolutely. Well spotted. Oh, I called Elvis has dropped by, has he? How exciting. Happy New Year to you, my friend. I didn't see you there, buddy. If you're still here, Happy New Year. Good to see you. Whatever happened to, you never told me that story, what happened to I killed Elvis versus I called Elvis? I like that we have both versions, you know. That is very cool. Okay, there we go. So it's about... How's it going, buddy? Yes, it's about this piece of hair here. Let's see if we can grab that out. So send to ZBrush with deformations and add the base resolution is good. Yes, I've noticed it kind of changed at one point from I killed Elvis to I called Elvis. And it's very good. Yeah, indeed. It's only 2 letters and it's still your brand. So very nice. I like it. Keep it fresh. Speaking of Elvis, I don't know why this springs into my head. Julia and I were shopping the other day. I think it was on the 30th, 31st, I don't remember. And we saw one of those yellow press bits and pieces on the checkout there. And it was about Betty White, that she's going to turn 100 this year. And I thought, oh, that's so cool, because I'm a big fan of Betty White. And, well, when I say big fan, I mean, I know her, and it's kind of, you know, I know of her, not her personally. But it was just such a shock that we read that. And I thought, wow, she's turning 100. I remember her attending NAB in Las Vegas a few years ago. And then, you know, later that day, the message came that she had passed away, and that was just such a shame. That was so sad. I love that she was still so active in her age. It was just, that's just cool. You know, because age, who cares really? what your age is. You are who you are, and the number is just a number, really. Let's see then, this is the hair. This is what we want to doctor with. How am I going to make that? Ideally, I would hide the rest of the hair, but I don't really know how to do that in ZBrush. So I'll just try and just lift it out of her body as if it's kind of sitting on top of her. Let me see with the... Can we do that with a regular this and that brush here? I think that should kind of work-ish. You see, it's kind of the opposite of what I want to do. ZBrush. Let's try the move brush. Maybe that'll work. Yeah, there we go. Move brush is exactly what we want. Yeah, as long as there's nothing obviously kind of sticking out of her body or digging into it, that's nice. That's all I'm asking for. You know, it's not miracles that I'm asking for. We're not worried about the bag. And that's just, I guess, badly distorted geometry here. That should work. Quick fix. That should be, whoops. That should be all that's necessary. Okay, go Z. That should now have fixed everything I need inside DAZ Studio. Hair chest fix, maybe I'll call it. Yes, look at that, perfection. Haha. Oh yeah, this poke through here, that's on my figure. Perfect. Gonski. Oh, what does this look like when it's rendered? I saw, I don't know if you know Bluxfy, not so much personally, but if you know him from chat, he sometimes hangs out in Chris's chat, and he had homemade Oliebollen the other day. I thought that was quite nice. It's been ages since I've had Oliebollen, probably 30 years. No, 40 years probably. Crazy stuff. Oliebollen, and he said that's what the Dutch brought to America, and then the Americans turned it into donuts. It's kind of correct. Okay, I'm going to brighten this up with tone mapping now, as much as I can see on this monitor here. So first I'm going to add a bit of vignetting around the outside, so maybe 20, maybe even more. The vignette, the Ira vignette, even though it works, it's very blurry and it creeps in very quickly into the inside. So maybe 30 is too much, so maybe 10. Just a little bit. Usually I would do this in Photoshop, but I won't have a chance to show this in Photoshop. So maybe 20 is okay. So then to bring it to essentially increase the contrast, I can play with a gamma. So let's try 1.8. Let's see if that's the right direction. No, that's the wrong direction. So I can, if I make it 2.5, then it basically the image becomes softer, and that's not really what I want to do. I just want to increase the, is it burn highlights? Let me try that. Is that what I do? Nope, that's the wrong way around. It's burn highlights. Do that the other way. Oh geez, this is an issue with numeric values. If you have something like float values, then it's just not gonna work. No, that's also not what I want. I don't often play with tone mapping, but this is kind of the direction that I'm looking forward to. Just make it a bit brighter without having to and then so f-stop, is it, if I do 16 that makes it darker? Yeah, perfect. So if I go and make that 5.6 for example, then that just makes that, yeah, okay, fine, perfect. Yeah, I'd much rather do this with f-stop or shutter speed. So if I go and expose it longer, so if I make it like a 60th, then that's also twice as bright. I think that might just be what I'm going to do. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with the ear, with the eye, so I might fix that. And also I might just leave it as it is for now, because as a demo it looks kind of okay. Vignetting, I might try something larger. Yeah, see, it darkens up the picture immediately, so I don't really like this vignetting, because it leaves a very tiny very diffuse, blurry white spot as you make these values larger. So, not a big fan of the iRay vignette. I gotta be brutally honest. Oliebollen, exactly, yes. And the other things I like from my childhood in Holland were poffertjes, but we didn't have those very often, probably because it was a lot of work to make them. Poffertjes, but yes, oliebollen, very cool. And my grandma used to cook them on a gas stove in a big glass bowl with literally 2 bottles of oil in there. I'm glad you think so. It is a body scan that I've turned into a DAZ Studio morph. That was quite an adventure. Quite an adventure. And I needed something to showcase like towards the end of that video. Hopefully, oh yeah, now she has hair. Now it's a bit heavy on the geometry here. I do want to have a look at those eyes. I think there's something seriously wrong with either the materials, or it could also be something even more dramatic and drastic. Let's have a look in filament. And I do like the hair, so I'm good with the hair. I'll go and save it all. Tiny pancakes, right? Yes. And there's these pans, these copper pans that have like whatever 16 or 20 indentations, and you put like a tiny spoon of batter into each and every one of them. That's kind of cool. Okay, let me go and take the hair away and see what's going on with these eyes. So let's grab her head and make the head transparent. Kids, this might look crazy. Oh my god, there she is. She's got only ears now left, eyes and stuff, and it's terrible. Left eye. So I think the left eye, I mean, are the materials okay? They are, aren't they? We might just replace the eye materials here. Let's see if we can find better ones. Anyone got eyes that we can borrow? Something like this. Is that good? Eye material? Yeah, there we go. That looks much better. Okay, well, it's just the eye material. Whew. Okay. I am very happy about this. Right, that looks much more healthy now. I was getting worried there. We can also, let's do something else. Let's go and add a little bit of depth of field into here, that we just make this a little bit more delicious. I'll have a look from the top and have a look at my Genesis figure. Depth of field is going to show up not in filament. I'm going to have to switch over to the texture shaded view for that. And with this in view like this, Control L will bring the preview lights in. Let's go and select our camera. Under parameters on the cameras tab, let's enable depth of field, and then we'll see where that is. It's kind of in the right zone here, I suppose, but it also is very dependent on what f-stop we're going to use. So I haven't tweaked my camera yet, so I think I need to do that. Focal length, I'll try 120, and then I can go and zoom out again. And then the perspective looks a little bit more palatable. I could even go higher than that. 120 is probably going to be okay. And it also makes the depth of field a little bit shallower now. So if I go and look at it from the top again, with the camera selected, kind of this should now be in focus, hopefully. Let's see if it is. And if it isn't, well, we'll do something about that. So, and then on my agenda are either more Substance Painter material experiments. These eyes still look off, don't they? So if I go in, this might now turn into an out of focus experience. Yes, and it is as well. Let's turn depth of field off just so that we see what's happening. Maybe I won't do it with depth of field. The eyes are actually okay now that I'm coming closer here. It's probably the denoiser. I think as I let it render, I think this is going to look better here. See, I'm not sure. I'm just not sure. Well, I will go and save it, and then we can go and do a kind of a high-res render, and then we can have a look. I'm thinking 1200 by 1200 should be a good start, and 1000 iterations. Let's try. See what happens. Right, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, so let's see what happens if we just increase the iterations a little bit. I'm just worried that maybe something has gone wrong in the wrapping process there, but I have a feeling as well it's probably just the material. Brian, have you tried out the brush node in Wrap yet? That is super crazy cool. That is like a mini version of ZBrush inside R3DS Wrap. And it has an option to restore the original geometry in places that you need. That is so cool, isn't it? I thought, wow, that is just so cool. There's so many cool things. It is so neat. I'm so glad we bought this program. I'm so glad we did. Yeah, so with that I could restore the ears literally perfectly. Fingers that were a bit janky, they could just get restored perfectly. And what I need to have a look at is that before you go into the brush node, I suppose you could also go and select things like the head and make the head invisible so that the teeth are exposed, and then you can go and restore the teeth and basically fix the teeth that way. And when you're done, you can just go and put the head back, and then the teeth inside the head are fixed. So tons of opportunities. And what I found, I think the most amazing thing that I thought was how easy it was to pick up the program. I had thought it was going to be really tricky to learn all these nodes and bits and pieces, but what I thought was really exciting was that it was just so easy to pick up, that it wasn't actually the big problem that I thought it was. So very good, all thanks to your instructions. So gotta say that. Teeth and expression is debatable. I think it's okay as a demo, and I can see that the eyes are actually okay here now. So good to know. Good to know. And also the way the program looks versus it behaves. So it looks almost like a hobby project, but when you start using it, you notice how snappy and how stable and how modern it feels. So I like that as well about the program. There's really some great thought has gone into that, and it's quite an engine in the background there. I mean, a fully fledged sculpting engine to begin with, and it's not really sold as that. It's in there. It works extremely well, and there's so many other exciting things like the texture conversions and all that. Wow, so cool. And I think it's pretty much a single developer, I think, with a couple of friends. So very good. So I'm very pleased with this. I'm happy with this. This was the product that I've used here, ColorWerks Extreme Hair Texture Blending for iRay and DeForce Hair. First time I've used it, very intuitive, tons of options, and it gives a great spruce up to many of the what's it called? Many of the hair products that we already own. This is nice because it's shader based, and that's really nice. Let me give you a link. In fact, let me give you a link with my affiliate code in there. If you do want to do that, if you do want to buy content via the DAZ store via my affiliate link, then I get a cut of your purchase at no extra cost to you. And of course, I'd greatly appreciate it. Here, there we go. That's the link to the hair product that I've used. And if you wanted to use my affiliate code, then you can use this one here. So it's already embedded into that product. So if you buy anything else from the store via that link, then I do get a cut, which is awesome. But you can also go via wpguru.tv/DAZ. That will get you directly to the DAZ latest releases page, I believe. And that also gets me cut. So always good. So if she's doing okay, what do we want to do next? So there's one idea I have was to take a look at Substance Painter again, see if we can come up with other color variations for Chris's pumps. I think we've made one, and I'm not entirely sure if I'm happy with that. That's one item on my agenda. Maybe 3 or 4 materials and get those set up on the shoes. Or there's more Cinti conversions. That's also a possibility. Both of these are kind of DAZ Studio based. I'm open. Let me know what you'd like to do.